and we are from Four States Casting. Now this is game 2 of a best of 2 matchup between OG No Namers and ACP Gaming, and this is for the North American League. So game 1 saw OG with an 18-0 kills. And they just dominated in the early game, and unfortunately ACP just couldn't stand up to the onslaught that was the Storm Spirit, the Nyx Assassin and the Life Stealer all paired together with those early levels, and unfortunately Invoker had a bit of a hard time mid and couldn't hold them back while the Luna was able to get some farms. So we saw an early GG call with at the 15-minute mark, so hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit of a closer match coming up for game 2, and for the first bans we're seeing a Doom on the side of OG, and followed up with ACP banning out the Marana and the Ember Spirit, the 2 exact same bans that happened last match. So it seems that they're you know, sticking with their standard bans. And OG they banned the Doom last game, but the Timbersaw they actually picked up. So deciding not to go with the Timbersaw means that they have sacrificed the Bristleback, and ACP are taking advantage of that and have picked him straight up. So what were your thoughts on the last game, and what do you think we're going to be seeing from these 2 teams, Rock?
Well, I definitely think that ACP is going to try and modify their game. Now, first off, I want to give them a quick heads up. They did say they have big lag issues. They did have a big spike where a lot of them got disconnected. So hopefully they've all reconnected, had a better chance, and it might be a better game for that reason too. So they did get smashed, but I'm not sure if it was like a fair representation of their skills. And in a way that they tried to modify this time, the last time they went very heavy with team fight. This time, a little bit squishy. This time they've gone for Bristleback, which is massive tank, and that Shadow Shaman, which OG had last time. So some awesome first picks there, and really different from what they did last time. And what do you take of OG's first picks there, Bo?
Well, OG with the Venomancer, that's a lot of counter push, as well as a fair bit of push early on. So I think we're going to see, especially with this huge Death Prophet pickup. Death Prophet, you know, she was very popular not too long ago, just before the 6.80 patch. The amount of damage that she dealt out was just huge in a team fight, and you didn't, the minute that she popped her ulti, you did not want a team fight and have those ghosts smashing down damage. So I think a Death Prophet, we might see some a Blade Mail coming out at least from the Bristleback, maybe even another hero or 2 to try and deal with this Death Prophet, but she is a huge pick. She's going to be mid, and with that Venomancer and those early wards, I think we're going to see some real good push coming from OG No Namers, and I think they're going to be going for a pretty quick GG hard push lineup. So I think we need some counter push on the side of ACP. You've got that with the Shadow Shaman, and even his wards can be used defensively, but I think they need something else to try and counter the push of OG, and a little bit of tank to help deal with those Death Prophet ghosts. So maybe something like an Elder Titan might be a decent pickup for ACP, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, look, I definitely think they have to go with a bit of anti-push. This game is so amazing the way that Aardvark changed it with its different patches, and you know, we saw the game go from kind of being creep orientated, now the game's more tower orientated, and of course it's a tower defense game, so that makes absolute sense, but that's kind of the overall summary of what we've seen in these changes in the way that people are choosing teams now, with push teams and defensive teams and carries that can go early and things like this. But that's right, both teams are looking at the push, and I'm thinking that ACP is going to have to look at a bit of the defensive side of it now. That's exactly what
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, and just Death Prophet going mid and getting level 6 in no time at all is just something that's really difficult to deal with. And for a short time, Death Prophet was one of the most popular bans in the meta. So Ancient Apparition, really popular hero right now in terms of support. He offers heaps for teamfight, and one of our casters here at Four States absolutely adores him. We have a guide to an Ancient Apparition, both support and mid, if you guys want to check that out.
Absolutely right. Silky's,
when you next play this wonderful hero.
Silky's go nuts right now.
10 seconds to go.
He loves his AA. So shout out to him, man. Really good character. He gives that global presence. Gives definitely an element of push and anti-push too. I think that's why a lot of people choose to pick him now, because he can actually control lanes from wherever he is on the map, and by shooting his ulti, wiping out the creep wave and just affecting that balance and the flow of the lane. So that's going to be really powerful with their pushing strap. And I really like the AA pick. And we've got a Viper for ACP. Really tanky, really strong. So they're kind of going a little bit more tank again this time instead of that squishier lineup that they went with last time. It possibly could be an off lane. We've seen the off lane Viper, but chances is going to be mid because they've got Bristleback, which is the bomb, Bristle the bomb off laner. And then check out who OG got.
Yep, and we're seeing an Abaddon coming out from OG No Namers, so they're like, yep, we saw your Abaddon, we're going to raise you our Abaddon and see which one's better.
Didn't they?
Oh,
I think OG had
did
Abaddon.
they? Oh, they did too.
Yep.
Yeah, they had the tri-lane with the Lifestealer. Yeah. So they picked up the Abaddon again. Really really defensive and protecting the carry so that they can have a bit of a dive. So I wonder who they're going to be pairing with this Abaddon in terms of their hard carry, because we know that Death Prophet's going to be mid. I think, pretty sure. Do you think? I'm trying to think who their offlane is going to be.
That's it. They've actually
That
chosen.
looks like 3 supports.
Well, that's right. We know that, as we yelled at Silk before, he loves a mid AA, and the mid AA is definitely getting more popular. I've also seen both offlane Death Prophet and Abaddon and Veno. So while they're not, your traditional picks, they do have the versatility there to kind of just choose what they want to go with. But ACP is coming out with a far more kind of structured team, and this versatile team that OG has picked now might actually be, a little bit weak against. We've got some massive hard hitters coming through: Bristleback, Viper, and Lifestealer now.
The downside, though, of ACP's lineup is that it's quite greedy. It's pretty darn greedy, actually. You have the Bristleback who needs to get a Vanguard nice and early, as well as some treads, and he's going to be in the offlane trying to get that solo farm. But even Shadow Shaman, who is a support, he needs a fair amount of farm to be effective. While his levels are okay, he will suffer if he doesn't get some of those items like the Force Staff or the Yule Scepter or Ag Scepter if you can be really, really greedy. But the Viper, who they're probably going to be going mid, needs a fair amount of levels and farm, and the Lifestealer, God, if he doesn't get his armlet, he is going to be in a fair amount of trouble. So greedy lineup coming from ACP, and they're probably going to be choosing their last support as their final pick. But Faceless Void coming out from OG No Namers, so that's their hard carry.
Wow, this game is just totally...
Offlane.
Yeah, they've just totally swapped it up. This is cool. So we've got that strong AoE heavy team grabbing the Void at the end. Now that's really, really potent. And you've also got the fact that Abaddon and Faceless Void is really potent as well. And on the other side, you can't go away from a Shadow Shaman, Lifestealer, Undying tri-lane either. That's a really tanky, really cool tri-lane as well.
Yeah, and well, see, I'm actually quite worried for ACP because OG have that chrono with the Death Prophet ulti that's going to be hammering them while they're in the chrono, and the AA ulti that's just going to come right on top of them and stop that regen. So Lifestealer, AA is a great counter to Lifestealer, and he's not going to be able to lifesteal and hit his, right click his way up and keep his health nice and high, because the AA is just going to stop that regen completely. So just reminding Rock to take down that overlay and have the... Because I know how it slips the mind, but on the side of ACP, otherwise known as Aardvark Car Park Gaming, for the Radiant, we have Aethon Phoenix on the Farming Lifestealer. We've got Senketsu Boys on the Undying. We've got Llama Pajama on the Shadow Shaman. In the off lane is Q-Ball yet again on his Bristleback. We saw him on the Timbersaw before, and Sparking is sitting on the mid Viper.
And they're off.
Yeah, and wow, there's so much movement going on, a whole bunch of anti-warding and everything. So on the Veno we have Arth. On the Abaddon we've got Frog, I think it is. I think that is, yeah. On the AA we have...
Frog, yep.
Yep, we have OG like. I'm going to call him like. We've got Bilbo Baggins Swaggers on the Death Prophet middle, and off lane we've got a solo Void. So.
Ooh, so aggressive trialing with these 3 supports. Okay, who do you think's going to be farming out of these? Do you think it's going to be the AA trying to get an Ag Scepter and farm up?
No, I think it's going to be the Abaddon actually. I think they're trying to make him as another kind of tanky, anti-carry type hero. But it's interesting for it to have an offlaner, like a Void offlaner. He has got the escape and he has got that first. So, maybe they're trying to use him as a little bit more of a versatile utility offlaner as opposed to the hard, and then transition into a carry role.
Denied.
Yeah, and it is interesting that they've actually both gone an aggressive tri-lane laning setup with the solo safe lane Bristleback trying to farm up. But I think both Bristleback, as tanky as he is going to have a little bit of a hard time against this tri-lane, and Faceless. Not, he's got his evasion, but I don't think that's going to be enough. He's going to be quite worried, I feel, coming up against these guys. And Lifestealer, he's having a great time. He's already sitting on 7 last hits and owning everyone else in terms of their CS stats.
Yeah, look, it's really interesting. I'm just trying to work out if OG are genius or like they. Cause, that draft last time, the draft this time. You don't see what's coming. I really think that whoever's drafting for OG is just I don't know. I think we're dealing with some Bill Gates' supercomputer or something. Who knows what? But I've actually got faith in them. I really do, because their drafting is so strong and so creative. And even though this is a massive tri-lane, I think we're going to see. I'm sure they've got a strategy, and I think we'll see them team up very early and take use of that chrono and really catch ACP maybe off guard a little bit.
Yeah, I think once the chrono and Death Prophet ulti are going to be up really soon with those solo XP lanes. So yeah, we're going to see a pretty aggressive turn once Void and Death Prophet actually hit level 6. So first blood. And there goes the Bristleback, and he managed to get 3 of those heroes really low. Veno, AA, and Abaddon, all very low health. So he went down fighting. He managed to deal a fair amount of damage, but unfortunately went down to give first blood to the ancient apparition.
Yeah, they all looked like sad little porcupines after that. But poor old Bristle, he went down, which is to be expected. He's up against pretty brutal tri-support tri-lane there, so so much slow. So Abaddon is developing that second, that passive where he can slow, and it's a really powerful skill. So I think that's what they're going for, just a really strong tri-lane that can just mow down anyone, and poor Bristol got in the way of that.
Yeah, and having that extra damage, right-click damage that he can give to the Veno and the Abaddon is going to be something that's going to be absolutely lovely. And Abaddon's taken a Curse of the Avernus passive skill, which slows down the movement speed. So he's got 3 different potential slows with the Veno Gale, the Icy Feet or the Cold Feet, and then the Abaddon right-click. So it's really going to be really hard for him once he sticks his nose out a little bit too far for him to actually turn around and come back. So we see them going on the Faceless Void. He's been hexed, he's got no evasion, and now these... Oh, manages to zip out somehow, but does he have a TP? He's going to salve up. He has no way to get out, though. He's sitting in the middle of these trees.
Can these guys get to him?
Because even those... Yeah, and he's just going to eat his way through, because Lifestealer now has a couple of tangos left over, and he zips yet again into the trees. I think he should have gone for a spot that is a little bit less easy to find, somewhere like over. But he tried to get away, and it was a pretty good
effort
because he zipped a couple of times.
Yeah, a really good job there. So he's obviously a bit of a gun on the old Faceless, and that was a really brazen dive there to take him out. But zombies and shackles, and he also got hexed as well. So so much slow and disable there.
Yeah, so I think that poll did a pretty decent job to actually stand up and juke them for as long as he did.
Yeah, absolutely. He actually initiated with the open wounds as well, so life's still a yeah. He's actually really handy in lanes. That open wounds owns. It's a
Yeah, Viper's been actually forced out of mid. He was sitting pretty high up in terms of last hits, but Death Prophet's starting to pull back a few. Now that she's forced Viper out of lane, he has to go back to the fountain to heal. Just getting a couple of right clicks from Undying on the Faceless Void here at top. Still doesn't want to poke his head out too far, just wants to get some XP.
I actually think he's using this for any chance to gank, because he has a double damage in his bottle. He could have actually bottled up out there, but I think he wants to save it and use that for a gank. There's actually a haste rune up top too, so Death Prophet's going to get that. Lucky her. So there's double damage on Viper and a haste on Death Prophet. So we could see some really hot action here in mid very soon.
Yeah, I think so. The haste is actually already jumped out, and the double damage. Oh, sorry, double damage has popped out. It's 2 minutes is up.
Yeah.
And Bristleback's now level 6. Checking out how Faceless is doing. He's level 6 as well, so they're pretty even. Both of them trading quite well in those tri lanes. They've had 1 death each. So right now it's pretty darn even in terms of how each lane is going, because both mids are level 7, both safe laners are level 6, and every single other hero is level 4. They are all completely even.
Now we see Faceless going back, so he could be doing something sneaky too, but actually there's a Gale on Bristleback, but it's okay because Shadow Charm is there to support him. Now Veno's done a nice little build, which is exactly what I've been doing. I play Veno all the time. So he's gone one to Gale, one to Sneaky. Well, actually, we've got Undying's dropped his zombies as well. What if they're gonna go on the
Yeah, there's a big jump on the Snot is on the Venomancer. He's popped his wand to try and keep his health up. There's a huge amount of nuke coming his way, and down he goes.
Nice kill there, nice rotation by the two supports. So yeah, good job. But what I was saying about Veno was that he's actually going to be developing his wards now, which is excellent for that push.
Radiant's
They're
mid
really
tower's coming
powerful,
apart.
and he's already got 2 levels in those, so they're going to be ready to start hitting on towers very soon. As you can see, Death
Radiant's
Prophet's
mid
already
tower could use a
a bit of
hand.
damage on mid, and she just needs a bit of mana, and she can. She's actually going to probably going to pick up her Perseverance, maybe.
Radiant's
And
mid
the
Just
invisible
fill a
runes.
bottle with an Invisor, and she could probably gank with this if she wanted to. Now that Viper is back in mid, she might want to rotate out and use her Invisor to try and get a kill or two for her team.
And the
I think
Perseverance just
that
rocked
would
up
be
as
probably
well.
a decent move.
So Death Prophet's looking really good. So she's got that Perseverance as well. So she's on her way to the Bloodstone, and she's not going to have many mana problems now. Full bottle, full Perseverance.
No. Viper's got his boots, he's got his bottle and a Wraith Band, but that's about it. So I think Death Prophet's getting the better of this lane so far in terms of her farm.
Bro, Shadow Charm's looking a bit poor. Rocking a couple of GGs and and some browns.
His boots, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic support build on him. And I'm trying to see what we're building towards. Like, we've got Treads up on the lifesteal, and he's almost completed his armlet. And as you said, Perseverance is up, and we've got 2 parts of the mech almost or is completed on the Abaddon. So all he needs now, 100 gold for that recipe, and he's going to have mech up and running. So I think we'll be seeing that at about the 11-minute mark, maybe 12, if he doesn't do so well.
There could
I
be a
do
possible gank
wonder
up
what
top.
Faceless Void is saving towards, though.
Yeah, he has. Well, he hasn't got much because he's been able to play very safe in that offlane role. But the supports have rotated top now. All he needs to do is get one good chrono off, and they can kill this lifesteal. Just make sure he's not raged, and
Yeah.
it's go time.
Stop it.
Do you think he should be avoiding a Mask of Madness with this build? Because I think he won't be able to stand up to the damage output if he does go with the Mask of Madness.
Well, there we go. There's the chrono.
Out he pops with the Chrono, gets that extra movement speed. Gale thrown out from the Venomancer, and I think that was a little bit premature. He gets a gets a right-click bash on him, and he might go down here. Down he goes. Good zap through with the faces forward, and he's going to get that final hit.
Yeah, good job there. I thought Lifesteal was going to get away there, but lucky bash, the multiple slows, and he just couldn't get away. But it was a bit worrying. That
Yeah,
Chrono came
gotta
out.
love that time lock.
Yeah, but he didn't do much damage in the Chrono there.
Radiant's top tower
So
is in bad shape.
while he's got that early utility, he's going to have to get definitely some more damage if he wants to be able to deal damage in that Chrono. Doesn't matter if they just want the rest of them to deal damage in the Chrono.
Yeah, and look, I think Venom was a little bit jumping the gun a little bit with that that Gale, because Veno, it doesn't deal actually any damage until it's level 4. So it's really only for the slow. And while he was in the Chrono, there was no need for it. He's got Lifesteal's actually going to go on the AA, and he's going to be caught out a little bit. He's just going to rage straight out of that cold feet, but AA is going to be able to be fine and get out nice and safe. Abaddon is getting a fair amount of harass with these zombies. He's surrounded by zombies. He's trying to take out this totem, and he's just going to turn around and get out because this tower is down, and he has to retreat, but he's going so slow with that mucus and the zombies hammering him down. He is in trouble. He is in so much trouble. He pops the ult and turns around, gets a little bit of health back, and manages to survive.
Oh, and they all
Radiant's
away.
mid tower's in trouble.
So close, they say.
And those ghosts were almost back. Bad luck for the Death Prophet. She almost survived that. They would have healed her straight back up when they retreated back into her. So bad luck to the Death Prophet. She managed to get a tower, so I think that's kind of worth it. That's 200 gold for each of her teammates, even though she lost. It sort of worked out even, and the Viper got the better of the deal there with the kill.
Yeah, and as you can see, ACP is going for top tower as well. It's actually in deny range now. And I think... Did we see the Viper coming up? No, I don't think he decided to come up. He got an invisibility room, so he's ready for a gank as well, but I think he's just setting up a bit of that free farm mid.
Tower's been disowned.
And there we go, that top tower's been denied.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Yep, and Viper's trying to hammer down a little bit of damage onto this mid tower. Not doing much, and Bilbo Baggins Swaggins is just going to TP in.
And as you can see,
nothing
he's
happening
actually
here, but
coming
we
around the
see-
back.
Oh, Chrono, massive Chrono from the Faceless Void. Another Gale, a little bit better on the side of the Venom, going to slow them down. AA throws out the ulti. He needs to get out. This Undying Totem is dealing so much damage, and we also get a Shackle coming out, and Faceless Void's going to go down 2. That's 2 for 1. Undying is down, but that is all. And that Totem doing so much damage, and there is no tower here for Venomancer to actually retreat to. So the out goes the open wounds, and he's going to drop. So Lifestealer, like a race car, manages to catch up to him.
Okay, so we're actually seeing this, really strong, tanky ACP team starting to get a little bit of advantage and really, punch headfirst into No Name's team.
Yeah, and having a Venomancer and a Death Prophet, you think that at the 13-minute mark that they would have 2 more towers down at this stage. They should have all the tier 1s down with this Death Prophet ult and coupled with the Venomancer wards. So the ACP have actually managed to play defensively and save their towers, and then also be aggressive in terms of their own, because they've taken down 2. They're currently winning in the tower race.
Oh, there we go. Never
Bristol
respect
back
just
TP out. They got
yeah.
no hearts done.
So a bit unlucky there. I guess that's a little bit
Armlet
of
is up.
Oh, really? So there's a little bit of
For
a
the
lack of kind
Lifestealer.
of stun on those sports. A little bit, it's hard to play with. They've kind of started to go some of the other skills that
Radiant's
Dash don't
bottom
have a
tower
big
seen
hard
better
stun
days.
at all. Unless you
Yeah.
call Shadow Shamans Shackles, which is sunworthy.
Trouble brewing.
I think once Lifestealer gets his basher after this armlet, it's going to be a lot better. But now Lifestealer's just going to turn around and go straight on the Veno. Veno's going to drop. He pops out his ulti, but we have an Undying totem here that's going to actually stop them going in and defend this tower. So they're trying to drop these Shadow Shaman wards to stop.
Undying,
Stop the
so
damage
lucky
coming
to
out
miss
that
that
tower.
AA ulti there. He was dead to rights
Yeah.
if that AA had hit, but maybe a little bit too much of an angle there from the AA ulti. Sometimes it's a little bit easier if you do it straight down the lanes. You kind of have a little bit more probability of hitting. But yeah, so ACP have double the kills in regards to OG no-namers, and as far as towers go, well, they're actually winning on the towers front too. So a little bit unusual. We actually thought that this was an early game coming out of the no-namers. We thought we'd see that early push, and we, haven't really seen the combinations that they've developed there in that big team fight kind of come together yet. So we haven't seen the big chrono with the Veno ulti with the Death Prophet Ghosts, but it will happen, I'm sure.
Radiant's top tower is hurting.
And the AA ulti as well to stop that regen. So that they have so much potential for a huge team fight to turn this around. All they need to do is actually, coordinate their team to be able to do it. And all the while, ACP are just getting these pickups. They've smoked right now, and they have a next bomb. And he's just going to TP straight out. Void does not want to go up against those 4 heroes. He didn't know that Nax was in there, but, he could probably guess. Venomancer's trying to get a little bit of farm, work towards his next item. He's got a smoke, and he's going to TP in mid because they are starting to 5-man up here in mid, and they're going to want to push down on this last tier 1 middle tower. So big wards are straight back up, in pops the chrono, and now we see the coordination of all these. AAL is out, and now all we need is a Veno ulti. Now, oh wow, down drops the Viper, down drops the Lifestealer, as well as the Shadow Shaman, and Bristleback's probably going to drop here as well, dealing so much damage to the Undying as well, and down he goes. That is a 5-man wipe for nothing on the side of OG. They may have lost their tower, but that was well worth it. That was a huge, huge team fight, and everything just coordinated beautifully to drop all of ACP. So ACP were feeling confident. They had the momentum a moment ago, but now it's completely turned around, and look at that XP and gold graph dip. It's gone from 500 in favor of ACP to 5,000 in favor of OG. That was the biggest team fight changeover that I've seen in all of my casting. That is a huge difference with that one team fight, gone from 500 to 5,000 the other way. And looking at gold as well, ACP is still in leading in terms of gold, but they went from 3,000 ahead to 1,000. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Sorry that my mic was kind of muted just for a sec, but yeah, I was going nuts at that team fight as well. But what I was going to say is that, OG, I'm wondering if that...
they found the Faceless Void. Faceless Void is going to drop. Sorry to stop you for just 1 second. He zaps out, somehow manages to survive. Oh my god, Faceless Void's going to pick up a haste and run away from this Undying thing. Does he have a TP? He does. However, he does not have the... Nice.
He killed to the neutral, so he didn't think he was going to be able to get away.
Yeah, denies himself.
I didn't see that. Did he have a dot on? I thought he was out. I thought it was good. I was like, oh my god, you just had the most lucky escape and then a haster and just sitting there for you. And then
they didn't have enough mana to TP, so I think that was a safer drop. Now Venomancer's going to drop the ult. He's going to go down there. Now AA drops his ult. Bristleback's going to go down, and now... it's 2 for 2. Down goes Undying. That's a 3 for 2 trade right now, counting the Faceless Void before. But Venomancer is the only one to be traded, and now Viper is in trouble. He's going to have to try and TP out, but he gets blown up before he has a chance to channel that finally out. And the lone survivor on minimal HP is Llama Pajama on the Shadow Shaman. So that was another team fight that did not go the way of ACP. They tried to get a push up mid, engaged on the Venomancer, and they paid so severely for that engagement.
Oh yeah, like they absolutely they went in and it looked like a pretty good engagement early on, but OG just managed to come back and turn it right around again. And their coordination when they decide to come together now is excellent, and it almost feels like they were holding off, maybe to have a false sense of security, or maybe just till they had what they wanted and were ready to go for it. But their creative choices in their drafting. The way that they've kind of been able to be so...
Lifesteal's going to reach out, and he has 3v1, so he needs to get GTFO right now. He needs to get out and get out fast. He's in a lot of trouble. He's got a tower that there's going to be a TP to try and save him. But Viper is here to help him out and back off these guys. He just manages to survive. They might even turn this around here.
Well, he's trying to put down a bit of damage, but... Oh, actually, the others are coming in too. Here comes the rest of
Here comes the rest of the team, and I think they're going to actually engage on these guys. The outcome is not in more TPs from OG. Now the Chrono coming out from the... Oh my god, Mask of Madness. Faceless Void drops the Viper. He's going to drop the other guys as well. Down goes the Lifestealer, and now the only sole survivor is the Bristleback. Wow, huge turnaround from that Faceless Void. Great TP in. AA went down, but that was it.
I just don't think they can be aggressive at the moment and try and attack under those towers, because once OG just coordinates, comes in, it's just so much burst damage, so much utility there too with that. It's such an awesome...
And now Undying and Shadow Shaman are here, but oh my god, Death Prophet has her ult. She's going to pop her ult out, and that's going to be so much damage coming out from Llama Pajama. He's going to drop down. Now Senketsu Boys on the Undying. He pops the ult, tries to get a little bit of the damage happening out. Faceless Void's going to go down, I think, and we have Aethon Phoenix on the lifesteal. He's going to go down yet again. He's dead. He's gone. The wards aren't dealing enough damage. They're focusing on the Abaddon. Undying, trying to stay alive, but he has found himself way too far out, and he's going to go down as well. Death Prophet, not even dropping. She is absolutely fine. She's just going to be healing straight back up to full health.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Yeah, she's massive. She's got
that
travel,
just seems
and
like
she's got
one...
a bloodstone. She's punching on well.
And it just seems like one bad engagement after the next in terms of ACP. And OG are just dominating these team fights now that they've grouped together.
Yeah, well, they're trying to mix it up, and so yeah, they've had one or two hard losses going into the towers, so I think they're definitely going to pull back and reevaluate what's going on there. I reckon we're going to see probably a Rosh pick up very soon on the side of OG, or they might just decide to go top and just smash down that top tower too. But yeah, once again, OG, being it's just so interesting in what they're doing and the way they've managed to turn this game around. What's that XP graph doing now? Now it's, instead of being a huge drop-off cliff, it's just a massive chasm. So really, definitely a momentum push in OG's, No Name's way.
Yeah, and looking at net worth, the Death Prophet is just huge. He is way out in front. The nearest is the Viper. He's on 6.7k, and Death Prophet is leading the pack on 10,000. 600, so 10.6k gold to her name, and she's just got all the items that she really needs. She's got boots of travel, she's got 17 charges on her bloodstone, and she's looking a scary thing. And I think if Faceless Void, I think that his best option here is, rather than going damage, I think he should be going a his next item should be an Acceptor to lower the cooldown of the Chrono to 60 seconds, because I think the Chrono right now is really the more important thing rather than his right-click damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And out pops the Chrono yet again for Senketsu Boy. Sparking somehow, for some reason, walks into it, and he gets stuck right on the Death Prophet ulti. He's going to lose half of his health, maybe even more. He goes down to a final click of final burst damage from the Abaddon, and now this tier 2 is going to drop down with these guys, and there's nothing that ACP can do. They've lost 2 heroes. They're just going to have to defend high ground at this point.
You know, we were talking about early on how, like, we thought they'd have more towers by now. This is a push team, and it just shows that just because you're a push team doesn't mean you have to push straight away.
Bristleback going to drop down as well, and they just absolutely cold feet. He's Blast is going to rage out and going to manage to get back towards the fountain, and we got a defensive wards coming up from Llama Pajama.
They're trying everything just to keep this massive
out pops the AA ult, and oh dear, Lifestealer is in trouble. He's not going to be able to heal at all. Undying popped in the ult as well, and all he has to do is drop down a little bit longer, and boom, Undying is down now. Again, Llama Pajama, the lone survivor, and GG is called for ACP, and that's 2 wins going the way of OG. Great job, incredible performance, and yeah, absolutely insane and really cool drafting.
Oh, just a fantastic couple of games there, and this game definitely so much more balanced, really exciting. But OG No Name is just yeah, creative and coordinated and, hugely powerful to the point where ACP was like, wow, oh, GG.
Yeah, they just one team fight where they 5-man wiped them, turned the game around, and then it was just OG's game from then on. ACP were looking good early, but OG with their huge team fight potential obliterated them. And I got to say, MVP goes to Faceless Void with those surviving, in that against that tri lane with his juking and he did really well. And he chronoed right at the perfect times to get those kills on those heroes. So great job from the Thadpole and just OG in general.
Yeah, definitely, and the Death Prophet as well. I think she was really strong. She owned her lane, and she dominated those team fights when they needed and absolutely turned the game around. So yeah, both of them really good work. Good work to the whole. It was a great game.
Thank you guys so much for watching these two games between ACP and OG, otherwise known as Aardvark Car Park and OG No Namers. This has been AD2L Season 3, the North American League. My name is Berkeley, joining me is Rock, and we represent 4 states casting. So whether you're watching on Dota TV or Twitch, make sure you jump on, check us out, follow our Twitch so that you know whenever we go live with more matches. We got another match coming up very soon, and that's for the AD2L as well, so don't go anywhere. We got some tunes coming your way during the break, and then, yeah, until then, play more Dota.
Some sweet beats.